Men don't really approach women that much anymore for a lot of different reasons, I think. But personally, I want to be approached. I would love to meet someone in real life versus online. And as long as it's a respectful approach, I'm always going to.
Why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? Say shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women. The masculinity on earth has diminished drastically that guys don't even come up to you anymore. They'll just stare at you from a distance. As a woman who's trying to embody her feminine energy, you're not going to catch me going up to the guy. You're just not. We can just stare at
Instagram got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Like, I'm sorry, I know my Christian scorecard just went down for using a profane piece of language. You ain't got your Instagram, got all y'all, because they going to do it for the gram before they do it to you. They going to send a picture to the gram before they send it to you.
Only one piece of universal dating advice for men. And this applies to every age, every race, every religion, and every nationality. And let's be real, a lot of us need to hear this. A lot of us have never heard this, and for many of us, this will be a gigantic wake-up call. So if you're seeing someone, just ask yourself this one question. If she was a guy, would she be a loser? Because as a guy, it's pretty easy to tell if another guy's a loser. But we do not extend this behavior to the women in our lives. We've basically normalized expecting less. We've normalized never asking this question. So yeah, picture her as a guy behaving the exact same way, the same kind of personality characteristics. Marinate on that for a little bit. Because at the end of the day, why do we date? We date to find something long-term. We date to start a family, even if you're not explicitly doing this. You're basically forming a team. You're helping each other out. But a lot of these teams are looking like the 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers, and you're playing the part of LeBron.
Can we please bring back men coming up to us? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of coming up to us?
You said, what are you bringing to the table? Men are tired. I'm not bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you want a woman to bring something to the table, go to IHOP. Go to the
80% of men are deemed unattractive by women online, on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, seeking arrangements, whatever the on dating
top
things.
10% of men on Tinder are getting 63% of the right swipes, and I believe the top 20% were getting.
What pisses me off is the discourse around how women only go for the top 15% of men. Am I supposed to be going for the fat loser who doesn't have a job and lives at home? Am I supposed to be attracted to that? Obviously, I'm going to be attracted to the guy who's ambitious, the guy who's manly, the guy who takes care of himself and his health and works out, the guy who's tall, the guy who's going to give my kids good genetics.
All right, fellas, let's get into it, man. Today, I'm going to talk about exactly why a lot of men are staying single and why it's in your best interest to stay single. So I want to preface this by saying, all right, I'm not anti anything. Y'all be like, oh, you're anti this, you're anti that, bro. I'm anti cap, bro. That's all I'm anti. Because there's so much cap on the internet and shit like that. Most of it comes from those who don't experience shit, right? So they just give into the dumb shit. There's a lot of, we all know the Santa Claus, the Disney shit, all this goofy shit that we've seen about just life in general. And then once you get in the real world, you start to experience shit for years and years and years, and you're like, wow, it's not really, life prepared me for life, not school, not Disney. You see what I'm saying? Life is the only thing that's going to prepare you for life, going through it. And a lot of you guys haven't touched grass, right? A lot of you guys haven't touched grass, so you're constantly just consuming propaganda and just different shit like Disney Channel shit or TikToks and shit like that, but you're not going out and living. So you just listen to whatever the fuck they say on TikTok, and you just like, oh yeah, this must be true. And you just regurgitate shit without going through an experience and actually forming your own opinion, all right? Which I call just goofy shit. All right, you guys are some goofies because you never go out and you experience the shit. But anyways, it's really in your best interest to stay single these days because you see just how many people are getting divorced. But a lot of the issue is generally the people that are, it's the vetting process, to be honest. I see a lot of guys who want to get married more than women want to get married. Obviously, that's way more common these days. Dudes wanting to get married and start a family more than women do. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The only issue is who they're vetting, right? It'll be like some tatted former sorority chick or something like that. Anyone who's experienced knows that's a red flag, and it's most likely not going to work, right? I mean, there's only 100% chance it's not going to work, all right? Or it'll be like some former OnlyFans girls that's like, no, I'm done with that. And then the guy will be like, I really want to settle down and start a family. Let me do it. Then they get divorced. Then he's depressed. And then, he might have built a business or something and she takes half his shit. And then he might off himself because, it's men's awareness, health awareness month, mental health awareness month. And obviously no chicks care about that shit because no one has your best interest but yourself. And that's another reason staying single is so important. the one guy that said that we should judge women how they judge us. Like, just think about if a woman was, doing what she's doing, going out to the club, drinking, putting her cash app in the bio, asking people for money, calling everyone broke. If she was a guy, what would that look like? The shit would look crazy, bro. They would call him a lame, goofy ass nigga, bro. Like, let's just be honest. So you have to start looking at shit like that. And as you get older, you do start looking at shit like that, and you start realizing, like, why would I? And to the one woman that was like, hey, why don't men approach women anymore? Like, why would you chase a bill, bro? Like, for a lot of the chicks, especially if it's like a superficial chick, you approach the chick, right? Especially if you're not her type, right? You might get rejected. If you don't get rejected, right, you're gonna be forcing the whole thing, right? Then you have to take her on a date and this and that. Now, if you're down bad and you got no options and shit like that, then it might be worth a try. But if you're not her type, then it's just not gonna work anyways. But like, when you start having women approach you or putting their self in your environment, like the other side of body game and shit like that, you start to realize that most of the requirements on social media don't really apply to real life, right? Like, they'll be like, oh, he got to be 6 foot, he got to have $1 million, he got to do this, he got to do that, he got to open the door for me, he got to send me a cash out of 500 on the first day. All that shit doesn't apply. Just look at their baby daddy. He's like 5'9" and swole, and he doesn't give a fuck, and he has none of those qualifications. All right, like, you start to realize that. But that's another thing that kind of makes you realize, like, yeah, man, you just got to have your own best interest, because, like, human nature, right? It's human nature. I'm not saying female nature. I'm saying human nature. Human nature is like, everyone's gonna look out for themselves. But like I said, with the Disney Channel shit, a lot of us are taught that women are perfect and they fix your life, and the most important thing in your life is finding finding a good woman. Like, that's the most important thing in your life. Now, it's probably the hardest shit to do. But there's so much more important than that, because you have to have your shit together first anyways. And you can't become that person if you don't stay, single for at least a period of time and build up on yourself, right? Very, very, very important. And another thing is, like, I know, because I've seen chicks I've dated go on like podcasts or like, post videos and shit like that, and they'll be like, why don't guys approach anymore? Blah, blah, blah. They say all that shit. And then swear to God, within the same day, they'll hit me up first or invite me over or some shit like that. So we all know that that there's like a dual mating strategy, where there's someone that a chick's attracted to, and then there's another dude that she's not really, attracted to, and he's like going on dates and shit. Then the dude that she's attracted to, she's just like, she's letting him hit, she's letting him do whatever. You see what I'm saying? She's just waiting for him to settle down, but she knows he won't settle down because it's not in his nature, which is exactly why she wants him to settle down. And if he actually settled down, she'd be like, fuck this shit, I don't you shouldn't actually want to settle down, type shit. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, just knowing that as well, like, once you start experiencing shit, like, go to my nursing video and look at the people's comments and shit like that, of just how many married women, how many women in relationships are just doing crazy shit at work, because it's really just common nature. I know I said nursing or whatever, but it was the same thing. I worked at Target, Walmart, gyms. I worked like a lot of different places. It's the same thing everywhere. I know warehouses are bad too. Retail's the same way. So it's just nature. It's just human nature, right? Like, a lot of things we've been taught haven't really adjusted to the social media world, to the attention seeking world, to the accessibility to Drake world. Like, this is a different world, man. Like, regular chicks, 8 out of 10's got access to Drake, where back in the day it was whoever was around them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a different level now. Like, the globalized dating market is a reality. Obviously, I know people want to reject it, but it just makes a woman realize, like, oh shit, I can have this dude over here in Dubai, or I could have this dude over here in Miami, or I might have a chance at this dude over here, shit like that, right? So all chicks, like that girl said in the video, and like Rolla Tomasi said on that podcast, like, all chicks are going from the top 10 to 20% of men, somewhere in that range. And once you realize that, and if you're working on your purpose, and you're not like, let's just say you're about 280, and your goal is to get down to like 200 or whatever. You're 280, you got a lot of debt, and your goal is to get to 200. So that you got to get leaner, and you got to get out of debt. You got to get your money right so you can get your lifestyle a little bit better and be less stressed. And that would be a way better position to actually start dating. So you don't even want to approach a chick if you 280 and you 280, big ass stomach, and you're in a lot of debt, because it's like, then you just be adding on another debt. If she says yes, if she's like, oh yeah, here's my Instagram, or here's my number, but most likely she's gonna be like, you're out of shape. Are you famous or something? You're not. Okay, never mind. Like, we all know that shit, because for some reason we're taught that love is blind and shit like that. Nigga, what the fuck? Love is not blind, bro. The chick got to look at you and like how you see. Just go into any comment section of any famous dude, any lean dude, you'll see. It is what it is. And I know you guys, like I always say, bro, I know you guys don't think social media is real, but bro, like the amount of, I know you guys out there in real life that like see the cheating in the warehouses and shit like that. You guys don't understand the vanish mode and the Snapchat shit that happens out in the world. Like it's even worse. It's way worse. And it's way like the vanish mode and Snapchat, that's way harder to track than like, just like if someone works around you and you have a work husband. I mean, it's gonna be like, well, it's probably someone at work. The Snapchat and the vanish mode shit, it's like this chick was in, this chick came in town for one night. You'll never see her again because she was only here for this one reason that she'll never be here again for type shit. Like it's random shit like that, man. So there's a lot of that going around. So a lot of people generally when you go through a breakup, which I need to make a video about that because I swear to God, the number one candid event in life is someone is coming down on a parachute. What the fuck is going on? But anyways, the number one candidate event for men in life is going through a breakup because that's where that's when your self-awareness starts to increase. All right, that's when you start learning, like you start seeking knowledge, like, wait, am I not good enough? And you realize you're really cooked, and you're like, oh shit, I was cooked, and I got more cooked in the relationship, which is why she got unattracted to me. But after you go through a breakup, you just learn so much shit about, you just learn so much shit about female nature, and then also you have time to actually build upon yourself, learn about yourself, and things like that. But once you go through that breakup, you get betrayed. Your girl probably cheated on you. Let's just keep it about. That's like what happens 90% of the time. The chick cheats on you or some shit, and then like 1 week after the breakup or 5 days after the breakup, she already got a new man because she was already with him before. You just didn't know because she didn't allow you. All you got to do is look at a girl's following. By the way, I know they say another, like, it's ironic that a lot of chicks will say stuff like, funniest thing in the world, by the way, they'll say stuff like, I hate when he's following a lot of girls, and it's like, me and my homeboys, even if we follow 1,000 chicks, we're following way less people than they follow. Most chicks are following like 800 guys or 5,000 guys that they're attracted to or some shit like that, right? And they're doing the triple picture technique where they like 3 pictures. That's like technique number 1. They like 3 pictures, then they DM you. Or they just like 3 pictures. Or they like 3 pictures, comment, and DM you. That's technique number 2. They do that shit all the time. So it's like, we see that shit all the time. So that's why, like, who a chick is following is obviously important. Like I remember all days with chicken. She was like, yeah, I'm going to Miami. I was like, all right, this is my last day with her, bro. And it was my last day with her. But she went to Miami. Her following goes up a little bit. It goes up by like 50, and she starts following like 10 different people. I'm like, damn, bro. God damn. You know what I'm saying? So I was out of there. You already know I was out of there, bro. I was out. But that type of shit is real, bro. That type of shit is real. Now, you can also say, like, well, that just depends. You don't understand. That's not everybody. Well, listen, I'm just talking about majority. I always talk about majority, all right? You guys want to come in here and talk about the 1% of chicks that aren't doing this shit, then cool. There's probably, like, Amish chicks and shit like that, but in reality, majority of chicks, you gotta have your guard up because, like I said, too many dudes are trying to impose their will of starting a family with the wrong person. Take your time trying to find the right person, all right? Because too many people are imposing their will. Because here's the thing, I've only seen healthy relationships growing up, which because most people on social media, they're just like they all had single parents or no parents or foster homes and they're giving advice. I've only seen healthy relationships. So as soon as I see a chick, I'm like, oh yeah, her neck is tatted and her behavior, like she's wearing that in public, like obviously she's not wifeable. It's not even a question. You can have fun with her and shit like that, but it's so obvious she's not wifeable, bro. It's too obvious. It's something that doesn't have to be said though. And a lot of times when people are walking down the aisle, they have this gut instinct, like, I don't know if this is right. And it's like, you got to follow that gut instinct, man, because you have to read the signs, bro, because at the end of the day, like, I've heard some horror stories when it comes to marriage, and when a chick marries you, she kind of gets everything she wanted, anyways. And if it's the wrong chick, like I said, then you end up getting divorced, and she treats you like shit. Divorce court is horrible. But anyways, yeah, you're not gonna convince me to get married in 2025. Like there's zero benefits. If you really like a chick, to stay in a long-term relationship. It's really not that deep. Like what are you trying to get married for? Oh, it's the foundation. The only thing marriage does is brings in the government, bro. That's all it fucking does. It's not, oh, it's the foundation. Oh wait, this tax break. No, bro. Just if she likes you that much, then just be in a long-term relationship with her or whatever, right? Because I mean, if you're in a long-term relationship with her, and then she ends up, cheating or some shit, then it's like, damn, that fucking sucks. And then you guys break up or whatever. Cool. But if you're in a marriage and she cheats on you, then it's like you're gonna want to stay because you're like, it's marriage. Oh, I don't want to divorce. Just imagine she cheats on you, and then like because this is just realistic scenarios most of the time. It used to be like, oh my God, you're like insecure, you're fear mongering. So it's like I'm reality mongering at this point. But yeah, just imagine she cheats on you and she takes like majority of your shit and you built a business, which I see a lot of the fucking time. I've trained a lot of clients, especially when I was doing in-person training, that were like going through shit like that. And it was just like, I was like, damn, bro. Like they were handling it pretty well considering how bad it was, because they spent all these years building the business and it was their family's business. And they married this chick who seemed pretty decent. And then, she's trying to take half of it, and she has a pretty good fucking lawyer, and she's been planning this shit for a while type shit. So you just have to really have your guard up and really have your best interest at heart. But I feel like every guy after a breakup, like you have to remain single for a while so you can really find yourself, find how to prioritize yourself. And because you have to give yourself time. You can't jump from relationship to relationship because you're not going to give yourself enough time to actually like learn female nature and to learn about your damn self. All right, to learn how shit works and to learn why your chick left you, and to learn why she cheated on you and all this other shit. All right. Another thing is, man, like a lot of these chicks be on their phone 24/7. You see what I'm saying? Like, and you know how Kanye said, Instagram got your bitch, Instagram got your bitch. Y'all don't understand, bro. Like I said, I know a lot of dudes. I'll have dudes in the comments saying shit like, well, I don't go on Instagram. I don't use Instagram. I don't care, bro. Your girl does, or the girl you're talking to does, bro. Like, so, yeah. So just because you don't use it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? Like, some people would be like, bro, I'm gonna write this essay myself because it's gonna be more authentic. I'm not using ChatGPT. Nigga, you're gonna get a lower grade than the person using ChatGPT. All right, simple shit. So I hate when people say shit like that. Like, oh, I'd rather like, and the chicks be saying stuff like, oh, I'd rather meet someone in person. That same chick is DMing someone on Instagram. Like, what the fuck is she talking about, bro? So you guys got to realize, like, social media is. You get a lot of like it's female dominated. As a female, bro, you get hella like DMs and shit 24/7. But you have so many apps. Like, I know a lot of people are like, I deleted my dating apps. I'm sick of that shit. Like, a lot of dudes say that shit. Bro, chicks ain't deleting dating apps, bro. And if they are brave enough to delete Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder, they still got Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, which are the biggest three ones anyways. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's very rare for a chick to actually delete all dating apps. I'm talking about chicks between like that haven't been through a bunch of relationships and aren't like 35 plus type shit, or like 30 plus and like looking for marriage because they already did everything they wanted to do type shit. I'm talking about a chick who hasn't done everything she wanted to do and is more worldly or whatever. Like, yeah, they're gonna have all those dating apps and Snapchat and shit like that. It just is what it is. But yeah, man, like that's the reality of life. But yeah, once I got on the other side of body game, I just saw so much shit. I was like, yeah, you can't be taking everything seriously. You really got to prioritize yourself, and you got to realize like like once you have experience, when a chick is wifeable. But you're gonna realize like a lot of chicks aren't wifeable. But you just have to see things for what it is. Like, you need to stop like trying to, because it's honestly kind of like it kind of pisses girls off if you're like trying to make them a wife when they're like, dude, I'm not in that phase and I'm not interested. There's like, go to that girl over there. She's clearly interested in like, being wifed up or something like that. Like, if a chick just wants to have fun, let her fucking have fun, bro. Stop trying to motherfucking, just marry random chicks because of how they look when they don't want that. If they want the marriage, then yeah, talk about it, think about it, get the prenup, put all your stuff in your mom's name, and then get married. Cool, do that. But if she doesn't want it, then don't try to force it on her, bro. I see way too many dudes trying to force marriage on chicks, and the chick doesn't want it, but then she's like, fuck it, I want some HD pictures, I want to get attention on social media, let me get fucking married. And then after a year, they divorce. I see that shit all the fucking time. It's literally like, it should be a holiday. There needs to be like a divorce holiday or some shit like that, because I see that shit all the fucking time. You see what I'm saying? But like, even for me, when I seen this was years and years and years ago, right? This was years. I started learning this shit, like, you feel me, like 8 years ago. No, my bad. Like 9 years ago, I started really like noticing this stuff. But I remember, like I said, I was dating some chick. She was cool. She was chill, and we were vibing. I was like, okay, cool. I was still young. I was still kind of simpy, but I was in shape. And I was like, you know what? I might make this chick my girl. And then I try to like. I try to like talk about that a little bit, and she's like, I don't know, that'd be kind of weird. And I was like, why? You want to be my girl? She's like, nah, because I don't really want to have two boyfriends. And I was like, the fuck is she talking about, bro? Like, whole time she had a boyfriend, she was treating me the way she was treating me. You see what I'm saying? Like, and he obviously never knew. So I just find out. And after that, I was like, yo, I'm out this bitch. I didn't fucking know that. Like, why didn't you? Where's the disclaimer, bro? Like, I should have signed like a disclaimer or some shit. Like, that's just crazy. I didn't know that. And then another chick, Another chick was worse because she was on dating apps. You feel me? And she was on some demon timing with what she was saying. And we were just messing around. You feel me? She was there for a couple of months doing whatever. We were messing around. She would come over a few times. And then, you know, like I said, the next week, you know, on her social media, she's getting married and shit. She's getting engaged or whatever. Like her husband came back. Or yeah, her husband came back from like deployment or some shit and she's getting engaged. And I'm just like, what the hell? And the amount of times that shit happened was just, I could give you like 1,000 stories on that shit. But the amount of times that happened, that just woke me up more to kind of what happens. And I've had a lot of female clients that are like, they'll be like, you know, they confide in you when you're a personal trainer for some reason. I'm not a therapist, bro, but they confide in you because they can see the lack of fucks that you give. Like, you just don't give any fucks, right? Like, so they'll be like, yeah, my husband's kind of out of shape now. And, you know, this is that. And you look so good. Oh, my God. And then they'll be like, you know, they'll always kind of flirt with you and you're just not interested. So they're like, damn, bro, like, I need some of this, you know. Some of this. So they'll go to like, I see them go to Vegas. I see them go to Jamaica all the time. And then they'll tell me what happens over there. It's never good, guys. But anyways, my camera's about to die. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay blessed.
I used to say silly things like, where are all the good men at? Until I started taking accountability. Now I know I'm just an ain't shit ass bitch. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem.